What is going on, guys? My name is Louis Vito and welcome back to LGO Outdoors. Today we have a patterning video with one of my all-time favorite shells, especially since it's a budget round for waterfowl hunting. I've shot this shell ever since I started waterfowl hunting. Shot either this brand or Winchester, but today we're talking about Federal Speed Shok. So before we get into the patterns, let me break it down for you. This is the gun that we were shooting. A 12 gauge Beretta A400 Xtreme Plus, 28-inch barrel with a Muller Passing Choke. So on the website and the book, the Muller Passing Choke is labeled as an improved mod / full, so a light full choke. The yardages we did were 20 yards, 25 yards, 30 yards, 35 yards, and 40 yards. This is the rangefinder I used to make sure I paced it out properly when I was at the range making these videos. So here's the stats on it. 3-inch, 1 1/4 ounce, 1450 feet per second, number 3 shot. These are how many pellets were in the shell. And I bought these last summer at Cartage Country here in the Houston area. This was the price. I don't know what the price of them are now, but I just wanted to write that down in case you are curious on what they were at the time. Alright, let's get into the shell. The breakdown of it. Here is the box. Love the design on it. 12 gauge 3-inch. I think they made a couple changes to this shell. The most important one was people were talking about the powder in the previous shell. They didn't like how dirty the Federal Speed Shok was. So they claimed they changed the powder or made some alterations to where it is a cleaner burning shell. Some people still complain where Federal's not as bad, but they're still dirty than some others on the market, some other brands. But that's really big on people that, I guess, want to make sure they don't have to clean their gun all the time. So I completely understand personal preference. But here is the shell that I cut open. So you got the shell, the powder goes in the shell, the wad, you could see where they cut it very uniform. Let me hold it up against the wood so you can see better. Very even cuts on the top right here. So once the powder's in there, put the wad, and then I guess this little filler, when I was taking apart this shell, this filler was inside the wad on the bottom. And I don't know what material it's made out of. I want to say it looks like wax, but I'm not too sure. So don't quote me on that. And then you have the pellets. These are they're not plated pellets, they're just regular round steel pellets. It's one thing I loved about Federal Speed Shok ever since I started waterfowl hunting. Their pellets have always been very uniform and true. And then when you put all this together, get the final product. And you can see this little coating that they put in the top. I don't know if that's just to make sure the crimp stays closed, or if that's to help keep some water out. If it accidentally falls in the water and it's shallow, you can pick it up real quick and it'll be fine. But I figured I'd point that out. If anyone knows why they did this besides just to help with the crimp, let me know. And please let me know what this material is made out of. Alright, and for the patterns, this piece of paper is 12 inch by 18 inches, and this piece of paper is more ideal for a teal. I compared the measurements for this to a teal that I have right up here on my wall, and it was exactly 18 inches across for the wingspan on that green wing teal that's on my wall, but from beak to tail it was longer. It was 16 inches, so this is close enough to where we can get a good visual representation. You know, 3-shot I feel like is a shot size that won't tear up a teal too bad. I prefer to use number 4-shot on teal during teal season, but figured I'd point out the dimensions. The white poster board that I have underneath it is 28 by 22, and we're comparing this to my pintail, which is 30 inches across by 24. So it would give us a pretty good idea. I don't have a mallard, otherwise I think a mallard is a little bigger than a pintail, but the pintail is bigger than usual. So this would be a good representation. So 183 pellets. The Federal Speed Shok, I was aiming right here on all of them, or all of the patterns, and the gun, this is for the Federal Speed Shok and the Federal Black Cloud that I patterned. That will be in another video. Within the first two pieces of poster board that I patterned, and wanted to shoot center and slightly right. So that was an observation that I made. But anyways, aimed right here on the duck, and this gun shoots 60-40, so it gave me a really nice solid pattern. But you can see even right here on this blue piece of paper that it did favor this side. Regardless at that range, that's going to be a dead duck. Any shell pretty much at that range will be a dead bird. The percentage we have is 95%, and that gave me 173 pellets on the paper. I'm sure I've got these clusters right here, especially in here where you can see 2 of them hit in the same area, that there's a couple extra pellets that made it through the same hole. But I came up with that number just counting the pellets that were clear. I just want to put that out there. So let's compare it. It's 20 yards. From the 20 yards to 25 yards, the shell opened up quite a bit. But it was very uniform, dead bird. Seems to be pretty heavy right in here. Got some big voids on the outer edges, right in here where there's no pellets that hit it. And right in here. Had 172 pellets hit the paper, so 94%. All right, 30 yards. 158 pellets, 86%. That bird is not going anywhere. Another dead bird. Still missing some pellets right in here. Or right in here, about the size of my hand, or a little bigger than my hand. Area right in here. Here. Just about fit my fist about in there. But that bird's not going anywhere. Some really hard hits right in here, and even if the pattern was horrible, obviously this bird would be wounded, but it would at least go down because this wing would be completely destroyed if the pattern was just god awful. But this is a great pattern, so that bird is deader than a doornail. Compare it to the pintail. Here's 35 yards. $150 pellets, 82%. Few empty spots right in here along the bottom. Can fit my hand in that one. You can see where no pellets in the middle of that area, so there you go. Nothing here. I wish there was at least a few in here. A little void right here. That bird's done. You got busted wing right here, so he's going to be going down, and all this right in here is just crushed. All these hits to the body, just those two will kill him for sure. So I was really impressed with 35 yards. That bird. Here is 40 yards. $116 pellets, 63%. Our percentage dropped off quite a bit, but I also know that is, you know, just going based off of what's on this paper. It's not a true 30-inch circle, but this is what we have to work with. So still very good coverage overall, but we got a few spots. I think for sure this bird would go down and it would be heavily wounded to where, let's say, it were to hit the water and just move around, say within this size of an area. I really don't think he's going to be in any condition to try to swim away on you or things like that. There's been a couple birds that I've taken a Hail Mary shot at and only gotten a couple pellets right in this area as he was flying across this way, and that just completely devastates him, especially hitting him in here from a side shot. Losing some feathers is going to slow him down, but I think there's at least these 4 hits, maybe 5 for sure, will hit him in the meat hard enough to where he won't go anywhere and you can be able to retrieve him easily. All right. That is it, guys. Please let me know what you think of this video. And somewhere on the screen, I will tag one of my other pattern videos. Tell me what you think about those. If there's a shell that y'all recommend I try out before this duck season so I can see what it looks like on paper and then I can shoot it for the season, let me know. Tell me what your favorite shot shell was when you were just starting out and what you continue to use. Next video for our pattern testing, we will have the Federal Black Cloud. See if it does any better. Alright guys, see you on the next one.